Good morning, everyone. We got the Tradingology.com trading room coming to you on January 5th. And as always, as you see, Dave is here from our friends over at Strong Market. So good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
And I was just talking on mute that I finally got my live account up so I don't have my intermixed charting showing some delayed data and some real data. So I was just updating some charts, and I was just taking a quick peek at the overall markets and how it looks from yesterday's big down plunge with a little bit of the recovery yesterday. Some came back, but not all of it. And where we're starting out today, it looks like we do have some bearish setup here with the MTSR signal with our first and second SR lines here definitely showing up in bear signals. And we have, but bulls and bears are 10 to 5, so it's a little bit mixed. SD and STs are slightly positive, but nothing in very high numbers yet. And it is starting to trend down. We see we open up around the 7, and we're down into the 6 range here and probably going to cruise into the 5s here the way it's trending. So keeping an eye on that.
Yeah, so if we look at it, maybe just a little bit of a bounce from yesterday, but it's kind of rolling over here.
Yeah, if we look a little bit more time frame, right? Taking into account where we've had it up. Let me jump this to like a day chart or something, so we can get a little bit better look at that. Obviously, we won't look at the SDs, but we'll just check it out here. Let me maximize this guy.
Yeah, just on a quick analysis here, it looks like we've retraced about 50% of yesterday's decline, which is a pretty typical place in which the market retraces. And if we're in a different kind of market than we were last year, 50% retracement is, and it doesn't go beyond that. Kind of hits that and hits it as resistance. We could see another down close today.
Yeah, if I hold the mouse here right around 50% of that body.
Yep.
Definitely came real close, like you say, hitting it. Now it's selling pressure coming back down is the way we can definitely look at that.
Yep, absolutely. So the only news that we did get a little pop in the S&P 500 this morning. It was already up a little bit. It was up about 15 handles, and it went up to close to 20 handles on Nestor, who's a Fed governor, who said that the Federal Reserve still has the tools necessary to do whatever is necessary to prop up the economy.
That's just a similar line we hear. All the tools that we have at our disposal, right?
Yes, all the tools.
And let's see what we got on our calendar for today. More OPEC meetings. Looks like a few slightly favorable reports for manufacturing, so that's a little bit to the upside. That'll help with that. Vehicle sales are coming out. They haven't reported that number yet. And then Evans is speaking at 2:45 later. So we'll see if he has anything interesting to say in the afternoon. So look for that at 3:45 Eastern, 2:45 Central.
Right.
And then we got some meeting minutes tomorrow released from the previous meeting, it looks like. So lots of FOMC activity to start out the week. And then to round it out, Evans, yeah, it looks like each day they have a little bit of something.
Yeah, they're gonna talk the market, just to kind of calm everybody's fears that we're gonna go into a more severe decline here.
Yeah, it's been a while since we saw, a 600 number, what they put up yesterday for the negative. And looking at the spreadsheet, we did see some bearish herding come into play.
We've been trying to form, to get some well-formed bearish herding in there. We've got about 5 or 6 different tries there. We didn't really get anything yet. We haven't gotten a nice formation. But today, or yesterday's rather, close may do it. Let's see. Now we had also empty volatility went up to 92%, so we keep climbing back up to that 92% level. And we'll see what happens today. If we go a little bit higher than that today, I would expect a further decline. In addition, we've got the average volume per share up again over that 1500 level.
Yeah, big quick jump right after the slow weeks of vacation for sure. So it didn't waste any time getting back above that 1500 level there we see. Yeah, we'll look for follow through. As you just mentioned, we'll see if we have any more bearish hurting joining and see how this day finishes out here. So keep an eye on multiple tools and the barometers, as we call them, of the market. And what do we got over here? And of course, today is the day before, is it today is the vote for Georgia? When's that final?
I think that's today, right? I mean, I think they're going to announce it tonight. So that's a big deal.
So that's, and one of the emails I had sent out is, there's multiple things. We see this volatility coming back in between the Georgia vote, between the votes being certified for electoral college, between the potential inauguration of what Trump's going to do with that. He's still putting his hands and making everything volatile here. So he's not going away quietly, that's for sure.
No, he's not. He's not. And I kind of have to think and kind of wonder what else he's got up his sleeve.
Yeah, what's next?
I mean, he's a player. He does not give up easily. He wants to be a winner, and I'm not sure what he's got, but I just have a feeling there's another shoe to drop.
Definitely. And taking a look at the internals, major move up from the open here. Looks like it opened up fairly positive, but it shot right up above 1,000. But now we're retracing back as we see price also doing that. So we have seen that where it bounces up with the overnight activity, where it catches up with it, since we had a slight gap up there. But yeah, now we see the futures are turning negative. The YM's already negative here. ES isn't far behind. So keeping an eye on all the tools we have. We have tools too, just like the Fed.
Yes, we do.
We use our tools to watch their tools.
Yes, exactly.
So what would you think would be something to look at, just more like a yearly outlook outside of some of the A trades that we have on it, obviously with the dollar and keeping an eye on the dollar index, UUP, those are obviously we're keeping an eye on and focus on. Anything else you see that's of interest from a longer outlook that you're keeping your eye on?
Well, on the longer front, I'm really interested in commodities, specifically commodity stocks. So in the Wealth Masterclass, we talked a lot about the commodity funds, the ETFs. But I think if you're looking for a larger return, I'll look at some of the stocks. And one of the stocks I really, really like, but I'm waiting kind of for a pullback here, is PAAS. S is in Sam. And that is Pan America Silver. And I think I like it a lot. It's one of the largest silver producers. And I think we're going to get a pretty big shift from the I think we're going to have one more deflationary event. Not sure, but I think so. One more deflationary event that's going to send the US dollar up, commodities down. But after that, and I don't think it's going to last long, we're going to get a huge move, I think, in commodities. I like PAAS, Pan American Silver Corporation, one of the largest silver producers in the world. I like their chart. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I would expect a little bit more of a pullback. I'd like it around the $30 level, where it was kind of $28 to $30, where it was showing support there. But it is moving higher and it's broken out here. So I don't know if we're going to get a huge pullback on it. But if we do, I like it. I like it very, very much. And I also like uranium stocks. So one of the ones that I'm looking at is LMRXF. It's a long handle on that one, but it is a uranium producer. Now, Kyrgyzstan, I guess that's the way how you pronounce it, that country. They have reduced their production by about 40%, and then there was some news yesterday, and I forgot what it is.
I saw some news around, was it Iran and upping theirs? getting to the weapons grade?
Yes, they're looking for uranium, and their stockpiles are low because the cost of production has been so high, and the cost of mining, and then of course it takes a very long time to actually extract the uranium, and so supplies are really low. The largest producer of uranium cut back their production by 40%. Australia is one of the few countries that has some supply. So supply and supply chain constraints have created kind of a shortage in uranium. And this is one of the stocks that I really like. They're a uranium producer. They have mines in Australia mostly. And so at one time they were up around 14 bucks. They're selling at 29 cents. So if you go out way back, I don't know if you can go do a weekly there.
I was going to say we're at a quarter here. That's
yeah, I know. It really is a bargain. I mean, yeah, you can see there at 275, but I think even further back than that, they were like at 14 bucks.
We'll go over to a monthly here.
Yeah, there you go.
Then I got to get rid of some of this data. Stand by.
Talk about a beaten up stock.
Right.
Man, you're talking about 29 cents.
Look at that gap in 2006.
Yeah. So the same kind of so it was up around 14 bucks at the high, but the same kind of gap that was there in 2006, 2007 is happening again in uranium. And so I'm pretty bullish on that. Just disclosure, I do have shares of that stock. And I do like the volume profile. I mean, there's really been a lot of volume coming into it. I think there's a lot of people of the opinion, same as mine, that the supply chain constraints, the low inventory is going to push up the price of uranium here, and it's very sensitive. So I think I'd be very surprised if it didn't hit $3, $4, $5. That's kind of my target.
And that's quite a bit to end up December there. We look at other previous years where it's not a seasonal thing, where it's not a December push. Here's our last peak. Looks like it was February of 2017, where it's up around 3 million. Volume came in there with this rise. But yeah, that's the longest in a long time, or the most volume in a long time.
Yes. Yeah, so I look for those volume profiles, and when I see that, I pay attention. So I think there's something there. The other thing I'm looking at is LUNMF. That is, it's run by a guy by the name of Lucas London, who is a kind of a rock star in the base metals industry. They mine nickel, copper, and a couple other base metals. Nickel, copper, tin, I think, and some other stuff. Really high quality company. Lucas London is well known in the industry as being able to find these mines and producing a profitable return on the ones that he buys. And so great management team here. This is one for the long term. If you're thinking of a commodity play, this is probably one of the core ones that I would be looking at. We're pretty up close to the high at this point, going back to 2011. And if it breaks through there, we could easily see, my target is much higher than this, especially if we go into an inflationary environment. But I could see it up around 30, 40 bucks. I'm kind of waiting for a pullback to between $7 and $8. Not sure we're going to get it, but if we do get the deflation before we get the inflation, then we could see it around $7, $8. And I don't own any yet, but I'm watching it carefully, and I'm going to accumulate in that $7, $8, $9 level.
Very nice. Interesting. I like it. Looks like they must have been public at one time and then brought back to private where they stopped reporting returns or revenues.
No, I think what happened, I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but I think at one point they did have, they were reporting, and I think they were listed on the NASDAQ, and now they're OTC, so they don't have to report.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I think for
It's
a
not
while.
too often you see all the returns for the annual and the quarterly reports, but all of a sudden they're gone. It's like, okay, so we did it for 4 years, but now we're done.
Yeah, I think I think they were below $5 too long, and so they were delisted from there on.
Gotcha. And interesting. It was just 1 year later, and then they busted out of that, dip below it a little bit, and then they busted out. Now they're on their way.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them listed again, either on the NYSE or the NASDAQ. But they're OTC right at the moment.
Okay.
Canadian company. So they're listed on the Canadian exchanges as well, but in the US it's OTC.
Got it.
So we're starting to see market kind of up, down a little bit again. But those are the primary ones. If we do get that inflationary spike, those are the ones: base metals, silver, and uranium. Those are kind of my three plays there.
No, it's always good to have exposure to other parts of the metals industry outside of just gold and silver that everybody talks about. But yeah, pulling back here, we see you were mentioning a little bounce. Definite reversal coming back on the internals here. So issues are on the way down, and looks like so is price, at least for the future.
And remember too that, you know, with all of the technology and the innovations with EVs, you know, and all the innovations with new electronic equipment, especially in the medical field, they need those base metals. That's one of the reasons why I started looking into base metal producers and base metal companies. LUNF is going to benefit from those types of innovations. I've seen a lot of money flowing into biotechnology companies, especially those that are producing some sort of diagnostic equipment or equipment for scanning, for, you know, identifying biological agents, you know, and viruses and things like that. A lot of money flowing into these micro cap biotechnology companies. One of the most famous ones that we were in recently was BNGO. BNGO just absolutely exploded. It hit $7 the other day, and yesterday I think, and then today it's kind of backed off a little bit. But all of the stocks, all of biotechnology stocks, pharma stocks, any of the stocks that are producing some sort of medical technology, they're getting a lot of money inflows, a lot.
Yeah, with the recent stuff happening for sure. You know, who's going to be the next one to come out with something? I just like to call it bingo. Look at those 2 weeks. Obviously, this week it's rallied up, and it's come back down. It's like a doji right now for this week's candle.
Yeah,
but from there it's right on the verge of red and green right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't get into it here, but if it trades back down to $3 where that gap is, you know, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, they might be looking to fill that gap and take off again. Something to watch for.
Yeah.
And just as price drops, they move the issues right back up. So it looks like it's going to be definitely a choppy day here. The volume is just hovering above zero, so it's not trending one way or the other, which we always like to watch for if it stair steps all the way, whether it's up or down. And it's definitely a horizontal pattern here, which is definitely a sign for choppiness. So that will definitely equate to what we're seeing here in the futures market as well as the index itself. Up, down, coming back up now. I wouldn't be surprised to see if it hits these bands and then acts as resistance and just bounces off these for a while. We've seen that happen multiple times.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Unless there's a big spike in the supply demand numbers here where this jumps up to 15, 20 or drops negative, then we could see a potential for some massive movement. That's why we keep our eyes on those too. So each indicator fills its own purpose to let us know when the little warning bells go off. Donnie's with us. Let us know if you got any questions out there, Don. I know a few people are shooting things in, so good to see you. You guys are catching the recordings, and as always, if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of us. We're happy to help clear up any fogginess you might have. We'll just quickly look at the across the headlines to see if there's anything happening. CNBC's got GM US sales rose 4.8% in the fourth quarter in an otherwise dismal year is the headline right now, breaking, and it's not breaking anymore.
Yeah. It broke and it got buried.
Runoffs in Georgia will shape what Biden can achieve. Yeah, if everything turns blue, that's one thing I did see too. I was reading an article last night, Dave, is they were predicting or just having conversations around if that does go blue, then they're going to have their way, and we could see massive changes, obviously. And that was some of the conversations around what they were potentially pricing in already with some of yesterday's down movement. Interesting take, I thought.
Yeah, it's this is kind of a big deal. I mean, there's a lot of anticipation leading up to this, and this election, I think, is going to be somewhat critical. I'm not sure exactly, whether it goes blue or it goes halfway, blue red, or it goes, I just don't see it going red, but I don't know if the Republican candidates are really going to win, especially after some of the stuff that Trump's come out with lately.
I wanted to ask you about this one. What's all about this delisting 3 Chinese telecoms?
Yeah, so President Trump signed an executive order back in November to delist, basically instructing the exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, to delist these Chinese companies because they're related to the Chinese military. And they said, we don't want to support the Chinese military. And I don't know what the connection was between these 3 companies and the Chinese military. I'm not really sure. But President Trump signed an executive order to delist them. The NYSE said they will comply with it and they will do it. And then today they came out and said, nope, we're not doing it. maybe because they figure Trump's going to be out of office pretty soon anyway. So they can kind of like say, well, I'm sorry, we're not following that executive order. I don't know. They didn't really give any reason why they changed their mind and they're not going to delist them.
Interesting. I didn't know the background on that, so I want to make sure to check with you. Yeah, it's unclear why the reversal.
Yeah, they didn't really see. They didn't say anything. I mean, it is an executive order. I guess there's some penalties maybe if they don't comply. I don't know, but they made the decision. I guess if Trump doesn't like it, they can sue him.
Interesting. Don says he made 12% with the lane strategy last month. I think I'm going to call it stay in your lane trading. What do you think of that, Don? And that's a fantastic return. And you're going to love to hear this, Don, as I got the exact code figured out for the secondary part of that. That's going to put the strategy all together for everyone. So it's coming soon.
Nice.
The lanes is the entry, and secondary exit targets is what I have in store for you guys now. So look for it very soon. It's all coming together. Don't care, just so it works. Call it whatever you want, he says. We'll call it the Don strategy. How about that? Because it's a miracle. Ooh.
Nice. I'm wringing my hands here because I'm freezing. It's actually cold here today. Oh my gosh.
We were just talking that it's not bad for what it can happen in January. So I'll take 20s and 30s. We were like 36 yesterday, which is warm for January in this part of the world.
Yeah, it dropped down into the teens today.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. It's not going to last. Don't worry. There's no polar vortexes yet.
Oh, that's good.
All right. With that, gentlemen, we're about to the top of the hour. So Don, if you got any last minute questions, shoot it out, or we'll catch you on the next one. Appreciate you catching the recordings too. We try to do our best on helping people out as much as possible. All right. The other part, just glad to see it all back. Awesome. Glad to be back too. Thanks for joining us, Don.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, hey, stay safe out there, guys, and trade well. And we will continue to, in fact, tomorrow, for those of you guys in the VXX trade system, we will be back early in the morning for our first VXX analysis. Not sure if we'll do a trade, but we're going to do the analysis tomorrow morning just for you guys.
Yep. So those guys look for that Zoom link in the VXX course. That will be separate and different than the trading room. So we will be with you guys twice tomorrow. Once for VXX only. Dave, you read my mind because it just came to me too to remind people of that. And another good reminder is I have to check the date. We do have a wealth masterclass meetup in January. I believe it's around the third or fourth week. I'll have to refresh my mind on the date, but that will be coming later in January too for the wealth members.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be an interesting one because I have not changed my mind on commodities for a while. I still like them a lot. So yeah, make sure you guys tune in for that one.
All right, Dave, appreciate everything. And we'll see you online and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, guys, have a great day. See you again.
See you guys.